Hi Cancer, welcome to Miss Leo's Tarot. I hope you're doing amazing. This is going to be your general love reading for the rest of July, so let's get right into it. All right, at the bottom of the deck we have good news and we have cleanup. So I feel like, there is a sense of you waiting on some sort of message from somebody, okay? But I feel like you're in a process right now where you're just really kind of like stepping back, focusing on yourself, trying to heal within yourself, trying to find your soul's purpose, and releasing all these negative situations or people from your life at this time. I feel like you're in an energy where you're just trying to clean up your life in general, just trying to get rid of what no longer serves you, okay? We have purpose, all right? So doing the soul work, looking for meaning in life, discovering your life purpose. Perhaps you're going on a spiritual journey here. You could be meditating, journaling, scripting, really diving deep into spiritual work. Maybe you're going into the tarot, or, you're something along those lines where you're diving into metaphysical studies or esoteric practices, okay? We have relocation. So maybe, I feel like, obviously here, this is talking about a physical move, or for some of you, if you're not physically moving somewhere, you're moving, emotionally into a better space energetically. You're just trying to maybe evolve. You're trying to work on things within yourself. Just trying to level up is what I'm getting. But for some of you, it could absolutely be a physical move. We have up in the air. So I feel like your life is kind of like in limbo right now. One thing has ended, and you're in the process, you're in the void right now. Spirit is telling me you're in the void. So, it's just, you're just waiting on, new chapters to open, new doors to open, you're just waiting like for, new opportunities. So you're just kind of like working on yourself in the meantime. Pink diamond, we have a rare opportunity, one of a kind love, unique creative expression, wealth, and prosperity. So, I feel like, since this is a love reading, I feel like you're about to meet somebody, Cancer, here that's really unique, somebody that you never really expected to meet here. Just when you stopped, looking kind of energy, that's when you found them. It's interesting. All right, so let's get into your reading and see what pops out, all right? Past, present, and future. Oh, I hate it when the cards pop out like that. Past, present, future energies. What does Cancer need to know? Spirit guides, tell me, what does Cancer need to know in their life right now? What is coming in for them in their love life? High Priestess, yes. I'm just gonna take that because I feel like, that resonates. You're definitely in a vibe where you're working on your spiritual, intuition. You're working on yourself spiritually. You're evolving spiritually. All right, give me 3 more shuffles and then we'll cut the deck. All right, Judgment at the bottom of the deck. I feel like you're really stepping into your purpose right now. We have the 5 of Swords in reverse. So I feel like you're releasing a lot of conflict with somebody, okay? You have shut the door on a past connection and you're just kind of like cleaning up, what's left over. You're just, tying up loose ends and you're not looking back, the Chariot energy, that's definite forward movement. You have decided to walk away for good. And I feel like you're leveling up here spiritually. This is something that, the divine is calling you to do. You're kind of like answering the call here, And I feel like, with the Sun and the 6 of Swords, it is going to be something that, is helping you heal. It's helping you move forward here with the 6 of Swords. That's moving from, choppy waters into calming waters. So I feel like this is something that is making you happy right now. All right, let's recent past. Yes, I was feeling that. We have the Death energy, recent past, the Fool, and we have the Page of Wands. Yeah, so I feel like, maybe you didn't get the clarity you were looking, you didn't get any. What I'm getting is somebody wasn't messaging you. All right, somebody was not communicating with you, and I feel like you've kind of given up hope on that connection, and that's what has led to this ending. Also with the Page of Wands in reverse, I feel like, you know, you're hesitant about putting yourself back out there. You're feeling a lot of, I feel like, nervousness about it, you know, stepping into a new chapter with somebody after you've closed something with somebody else, okay? In the present moment, we have the Nine of Swords, the Eight of Swords, and the Magician. So I feel like, you know, obviously here with the Nine of Swords, that's all about anxiety and, you know, a lot, like really being stressed out, you know, emotionally here. But I feel like, you know, with the Eight of Swords, you're really, you know, kind of blocked. You're not really, you feel, you know, I feel like you have a lot of limiting beliefs surrounding love here. Yeah, so basically what I feel is, you know, you're afraid of, you know, stepping into your own power here with the Magician card because you have a lot of blocks, a lot of internal blocks when it comes to love. I feel like you've really been wounded here in the past and it's preventing you, you know, from, you know, exploring something new, from diving into a whole new chapter with somebody else, you know. All right, so future energy, we have the Three of Wands, Five of Wands in reverse, and we have the King of Pentacles. So I feel like, you know, with the three, we have the Three of Wands in your future energy with the Five of Wands in reverse. So this is talking about forward expansion, okay? This is talking about, you know, releasing the inner conflict. I feel like you're manifesting here. What's coming is a whole, like a new chapter in love, but I feel like you're, you know, you're working on those issues presently and you're going to be stepping into the near future here, you know, kind of like renewed, restored even, you know. So I feel like it will be the perfect time to have this person coming into your life. We have King of Pentacles energy. So this is something that's very stable coming in. If you were, you know, perhaps used to a lot of conflict in past, you know, relationships here, I'm seeing things becoming a lot more stable and grounded for you. I feel like, you know, this is kind of what you're manifesting. You're manifesting this connection coming in. Just when you start releasing these blocks within yourself, that's when like everything starts realigning and, you know, things start coming together for you. And I feel like you're going to be stepping into this much more confident and more in from a more healed place. All right. So let's clarify. All right. Clarifying the death energy, please. Yeah, so Cancer, I feel like you're in a space here with the Two of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the Death energy. You know, you're really contemplating on whether or not you should, you know, entertain anything new, whether you should put yourself back out there and become more like open yourself up emotionally again here with the King of Cups and the Death energy. I feel like that's, you know, kind of like what you've been shutting off here. We have Death, clarifying death. So that's just Spirit, like, you know, highlighting this ending. You know, also I feel like you're calling in a more emotionally stable love too. This is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. But I feel like, you know, Spirit is definitely saying here with the Death, clarifying the Death card, that this is something you're absolutely putting behind you. All these past dynamics that, you know, were like full of conflict and everything is coming to an end. And it's not something that's ever going to like play out again, because I feel like you've transformed permanently for the better. You know, this whole life experience has transformed you for the better, and I feel like it's preparing you for this connection that you're about to meet here pretty soon. So, all right, let's clarify the Fool energy. Clarifying the Fool energy. Yes, so the Fool is being clarified by the Ten of Pentacles and the Hierophant, Taurus energy, all right? So, you know, what this is talking about is, you know, you're calling in something a lot more committed here with the Ten of Pentacles and the Hierophant energy. That's beautiful. Clarifying Page of Wands in reverse. Yeah, so Cancer, what I'm seeing here, we have the Empress, the Moon, and we have the Three of Wands. So I feel like, you know, you're with the Empress energy and the Moon energy, you have dealt with these emotional, issues that have, been laying underneath the surface here. A lot of the subconscious fears and, hidden issues that you've been experiencing emotionally within yourself. And I feel like with the Empress energy, that's another thing that you've, I feel like there's a lot of insecurity type of energy, not being like self-worth issues, not feeling enough, not feeling chosen, not feeling seen kind of energy. And you're stepping into something, a chapter where you're a lot more aligned. You're feeling a much more higher level of self-worth, okay? Feeling like you deserve these things. And I feel like that's why you're kind of like calling in this new chapter of love, because you are, aligning to a higher frequency, if you will, of having a better self-concept is what I'm getting. You're stepping into a much more aligned version. You're healing. You feel like I said, you are deserving of these things, and you're moving forward and you're not looking back. Let's clarify the Nine of Swords, please. Clarifying the Nine of Swords. The Sun energy. The Five of Wands. So you're gaining a lot of clarity here, and clarify it one more time, please. So you're learning how to resolve, like I said, all these limiting beliefs that are holding you back in your life. I feel like you have really, with the Moon energy here, you've really did a deep dive within yourself, done a lot of soul healing. Maybe you're doing a lot of shadow work, a lot of self-reflection here. And, I feel like you have been, or in the process of successfully clearing up that stuck, static, wounded, vulnerable, limiting belief energy. And you're gaining a lot more clarity now. You're starting to see, that, like I said, you are deserving of these things in life. You are deserving of a committed partner, somebody to choose you. All right, clarifying Eight of Swords, please. Yes, and look, we just pulled the Lover's card and the Magician. This is absolutely 100% Cancer, what you are manifesting. And it's tied with the Eight of Swords energy, which is all about, limiting beliefs, feeling stuck mentally, not seeing, your worth, not, tapping into your own power, feeling trapped and, stuck in these negative cycles, mental loops over and over. And I feel like you're releasing that, and that's what's coming in. I want to clarify this Magician energy. Yeah, I feel like strong soulmate energy coming in here pretty soon. It could be a water or earth sign. Yep, brand new beginnings. We have the Fool clarifying the Magician. So that is absolutely what you're manifesting. I want to clarify it one more time, please. Yes, absolute clarity. And we have the Emperor energy with the Four of Wands. This is stability coming in. When you were thinking like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to meet, somebody that, sees my worth, kind of energy. Just when you start healing these wounds within yourself, this is what's coming through. Commitment energy, Four of Wands, the Emperor. This is somebody that is stepping up to be a provider, somebody that you can have something long-term with, someone you could marry, someone, that if you're looking, for somebody that you can eventually move in together with, or marriage, whatever. It's something that's very committed and long-term, which is beautiful. This is what you're seeing clarity about. All right. What is the Three of Wands? Clarifying the Three of Wands. Way too many cards. All right, clarifying Three of Wands one more time. Too many cards. You know, another thing I feel like you're gaining clarity on is, you know, I feel like up until this point you were very confused on what you even wanted in love. And I feel like now you're gaining, that's part of what the clarity that you're gaining here with the Three of Wands by, you know, just kind of like stepping back and, you know, being in this void right now is giving you a lot of time to reflect on, you know, what it is that you want and, you know, resolve this inner confusion that you're feeling, this emotional confusion on, you know, the kind of person that you want to be with, or, you know, what it is that, you know, you can, that's aligned for you, you know. And I feel like that's another thing that you've gained clarity on. Five of Wands in reverse. Hold on. Yeah, so we have the King of Pentacles in your future energy, and we've clarified it here with Temperance, King of Pentacles, and the Justice energy. So I feel like this is Spirit just highlighting the fact that you're going to be meeting somebody here that, you know, gives you equal give and take here. This is somebody that's very mature, okay, grounded, stable, somebody that would be a good provider for you, somebody, you know, good wife, husband material, whatever. But it's just somebody that's very stable coming into your life, okay? I feel like it's, like I said, the Justice energy, this is something that's going to be fair, okay? If you're used to like breadcrumbing energy in the past, this is definitely not it. This is somebody that wants to give to you just as equally as you give to them, all right? So there's this equal give and take here. So, you know, it's beautiful energy coming in. So Cancer, I feel like even though you're in this void right now, you know, it's all in divine timing. Spirit wants you to know that something beautiful is just around the corner for you here in the next month or so. And I feel like you're manifesting it. You know, if you're into manifestation or whatever, this is something that you are actually calling in. But there's a lot of there's a sense of having to resolve these inner battles, internal conflicts, internal wounds, maybe even emotional wounds within yourself. Before, you know, I think once you release them, this new person is going to come into your life very quickly. You're seeing like a massive shift in this dynamic. All right, so let's get some advice for what Spirit wants to say to you. Let's get some advice before we wrap up. Spirit, what advice do you have for Cancer moving forward? Yeah, so we have the Fool energy, we have the Ace of Cups, and we have the Nine of Wands. So Spirit is saying that you just need to let your guard down, learn how to trust again, learn how to open your heart, because, you know, there is this new chapter that it's unfolding. Like we see it here like multiple times, the Fool energy, Ace of Cups, you know, the Lovers, you know, Everything is pointing to a beautiful brand new beginning with a person that is just about to enter your life, Cancer. All right, you just have to stay emotionally aligned. You have to, you know, keep visualizing what it is that you do want, not focusing on, you know, what you don't have or what you don't feel like you're good enough to have type of energy. You know, Spirit is just saying, like, I just want to reiterate, focus on what it is that you do want, because that is what you're calling in. All right, Cancer, that is what I have for you. If you've liked the video, feel free to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe.